He was only 5 feet 7 inches tall, but he could knock down opponents twice his size. In just a single punch. That's not an exaggeration. This small, unassuming man from San Francisco became a global martial arts legend, changing Hollywood, martial arts, and even the way we think about our limits. From his secret 1-inch punch to a philosophy that inspired millions, Bruce Lee's story is as incredible off-screen as it was on-screen. And today, we're diving into every part of his life, from birth all the way to his untimely death at just 32. Bruce Lee was born as Lee Jun-fan on November 27, 1940, right here in San Francisco, California. Yes, Bruce Lee was actually an American by birth. His father, Lee Hoi Chuen, was a famous Cantonese opera actor, performing in Hong Kong and overseas. His mother, Grace Ho, came from a wealthy Hong Kong family with strong business roots. At the time of Bruce's birth, his father was on a performance tour in San Francisco. That's why Bruce was born in the US. But just a few months later, the family returned to Hong Kong, where Bruce would grow up surrounded by theater, performance, and later, martial arts. Before reaching his teenage years, Bruce Lee had appeared in more than 20 films as a child actor. Acting became a normal part of his life. Cameras, sets, and performances surrounded him from a very young age. But off-screen, his real life was far from calm. Hong Kong in the 1950s was crowded and rough, and Bruce grew up in an aggressive street environment. He frequently got into street fights, clashed with other kids, and developed a reputation for being hot-tempered and fearless. At home, he was energetic and restless. This chaotic childhood would later shape the intensity, anger, and drive that defined Bruce Lee's future. By the time Bruce Lee turned 18, his street fighting had gone too far. Almost every day, he was getting into fights, clashing with gangs, and putting himself in serious danger. Fearing that he could be badly injured, or worse, his parents made a life-changing decision. In 1959, at just 18 years old, Bruce Lee was sent to the United States. When Bruce Lee arrived in the United States, he didn't arrive as a superstar. He arrived with very little money and a fresh start. Bruce Lee first settled in Seattle, Washington, in the Chinatown International District, where he lived above Ruby Chow's restaurant with a family friend. Bruce Lee studied at Thomas Burke Junior High and then Lakeside High School in Seattle, completing his high school education while balancing academics and martial arts training. He then enrolled at the University of Washington, where he studied drama and philosophy, all while continuing to refine his Wing Chun skills and experiment with new martial arts techniques. While studying at the University of Washington, Bruce Lee met Linda Emery, one of his martial arts students. Their relationship grew quickly, and in 1964, Bruce Lee and Linda married. The couple later had 2 children, a son, Brandon Lee, born in 1965, and a daughter, Shannon Lee, born in 1969. Bruce Lee's son, Brandon Lee, became an actor and martial artist like his father, but tragically died in 1993 during the filming of The Crow due to an accidental on-set shooting. His daughter, Shannon Lee, is now an actress, producer, and the guardian of Bruce Lee's legacy, managing the Bruce Lee Foundation and promoting his philosophy worldwide. Back in Bruce Lee's journey, his reputation in the United States began growing through martial arts demonstrations and teaching in Seattle and later in California. His incredible speed and unique fighting style impressed many people. In 1964, during a martial arts demonstration in Long Beach, California, a Hollywood producer noticed his skills and was amazed by his speed and charisma. This opportunity opened the door to Hollywood. And in 1966, Bruce Lee received his first American television role in The Green Hornet, where he played the character Kato, introducing his martial arts talent to audiences across the United States. After the success of The Green Hornet, Bruce Lee became well known in the United States. However, he was not offered major leading roles in Hollywood. He continued teaching martial arts and making a few small television appearances while living in America. After spending years from 1959 to 1971 in the United States, Bruce Lee eventually returned to Hong Kong, where his film career would soon take off. Bruce Lee was warmly welcomed by his family and impressed local fans who had followed his growing fame in the United States. He quickly reunited with his parents and friends, and the Hong Kong martial arts and film community immediately recognized his talent, giving him a strong platform to launch his film career. Bruce Lee's first Hong Kong film, The Big Boss, 1971, became a massive hit and made him famous across Asia and many parts of the world. Alongside acting, he remained deeply dedicated to martial arts training. Every day, he followed an intense routine, running about 6 to 10 kilometers, performing hundreds of push-ups and sit-ups, practicing thousands of punches and kicks, and spending hours refining his techniques on training equipment. After The Big Boss, 1971, Bruce Lee quickly became a martial arts superstar in Hong Kong. He starred in Fist of Fury, 1972, which was a huge hit across Asia, followed by Way of the Dragon, 1972, a film he wrote, directed, and starred in, featuring the iconic fight against Chuck Norris. Next, he worked on Enter the Dragon, 1973, his first major Hollywood co-production, which was released just after his untimely death. At the time of his passing, he was filming Game of Death, which remained incomplete and was later finished by the studio using doubles and archival footage. In May 1973, just 2 months before his death, Bruce Lee experienced a serious warning sign. While working on Enter the Dragon, he suddenly collapsed, suffering from a severe headache and dizziness. He was rushed to the hospital, where doctors discovered swelling in his brain, known as cerebral edema. After receiving treatment, Bruce Lee recovered and was released. Despite this alarming incident, he continued his intense work and training, unaware of the danger ahead. On July 20, 1973, Bruce Lee was in Hong Kong working on his upcoming film, Game of Death. Earlier that day, he had meetings with producers and was actively discussing future scenes and plans. Later in the afternoon, he went to the apartment of actress Betty Ting-pei to review the script. During this time, Bruce Lee began complaining of a severe headache, similar to what he had experienced 2 months earlier. To help with the pain, Betty Ting-pei gave him a painkiller called Equagesic, a medication that contained aspirin and a muscle relaxant. After taking the tablet, Bruce Lee went to lie down to rest. However, hours passed, and he did not wake up. Concerned, attempts were made to revive him, and he was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Bruce Lee was officially pronounced dead that evening at the age of 32. News of his sudden death spread rapidly across Hong Kong and then around the world. Fans, media, and the film industry were left in shock as the loss of Bruce Lee marked the end of a rising global legend at the peak of his career. And with his passing, a legend was gone. But Bruce Lee's legacy would live on forever.